big business, multi-million dollars. I don't know what city he come from. Costs money to keep on playing. So it means we need to provide services in some kind of balanced way. That's why them damn hamburgers taste the same thing in the hamburger places that they do any place else. We ought to be able to do the same thing in the departments you in. You don't, I'll tell you what, you got a messed up situation. That's all I can say. You got a messed up, totally messed up. Think about that for a second. What services can you deliver? And what manner can you deliver those services? Think about this. If Joe Brown called up the fire department in your city right there and said, my house is on fire. Think about that. Does that put that automatic system in place, or does that entertain a total confusion? Think about that. Does that, you get the message?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Well, shouldn't that be anything else? Isn't that what you do? If they work the same way. You knew the procedure that you're gonna operate under. Think about the fact that you called up for the first, second, third engine, whether you, that all that don't mean nothing. That just means the quality that you are enter in that system to make it work. When you send a company out to a fire right now, what are you delivering?
A service.
Huh?
Service.
Is it a consistent effort you give? Is it? Or is the product a mixed around system of food that you're selling? If you don't set a fire department up in a systematic way like that, you never know what you're selling. And you never know the quality of what you're selling, whether you got 1, 2, or 3 people on or what. Whether they're male or female, all that junk there doesn't mean nothing. So that means that the services that you deliver has to be a balanced service, period. And if you don't do that, you got a mixed up situation. Think about that as a customer. As a customer, the person that calls your department. He dials the number, my name is Joe Brown. That's when I know right on it. You tell the phone, call the phone, says, my name is Joe Brown, I live in Carl Holmes' address, 5106 North Lottie. My house is on fire. What does that say to your department? What does that say? Stop and think about it. What did he just order? What did he just order?
Nope.
Service.
Huh?
Service.
What kind of service is he gonna get?
Fire service.
You
You hope.
hope. That depends on Joe Brown as the captain that day, or Pete Jones is there, or some dog ass is in there running. If you don't have a system. Do you know that when you dial that telephone number, it pops up, and the dispatcher calls up, this so-and-so fire department, what is that person doing? He's signaling right then, what do you want? What do you want? What service do you want? And you got 2 or 3 seconds to put that down. What are you going to do? Stop and think about that for a second in your department. What are you getting? Joe Brown? If that depends on, number one, who the dispatcher is? Whether he's a dog ass or what? The quality of the service. And if he does, sends it off, he sends it out to the fire station. Number one, he lives on 5106 North Lighting. What signals off? Number one, how much of that information does that company receive? What did that he say? The address, all the thing down. Bam. Now let me ask you a question. What do you set out the door? What's the quality response pattern for your department? How much time do you spend that you qualify, that you can back up? How many seconds does that take? That depends on whether old Joe Brown is out there washing on his damn car, or what. He going to the grocery store. That depends on the quality, what you're going to deliver. Stop and think about that for a second. So that means that the quality of service that comes from you, from that department, it balances this way. It depends. It depends. It depends entirely on who got the call. Stop and think that for a second. The second thing that happens, he notified the crew. He heard the speakers go on, and they get ready to hit the door. In your department, what's the response time for that company in that city? In other words, how many seconds does it take to clear the door? To clear the door of the station they come from. Can you measure that? Can you measure that down to the vacuum? And so they do. They hit the street. Now they still know the decision that's never been made. For that city, where are we gonna respond? 1 inch, 2 inches, what? How many seconds is the response time for that city for the response time? What's the response time for a company? What's the response time for your department? Down to the seconds. How many seconds does it take to clear the door? The crew, or they still messing around, looking out there, putting water on the car, out back. What quality it is? What's the department's standard for clearing the door for a response line? What's the time? Can you measure that? Then that means you don't know what quantity of service you're going to deliver in the beginning.
And do you see how bad that is? Because you can't stand up, like I said, and that I can assure you that 4 minutes, because you don't know what the quality of response. You don't know. You don't know what you're gonna get every day.
That's right. It depends. Dog ass. You know? So he cleared the door. Okay, we got that settled. The amount of time it's going to take to process the call in that station, process the information in the street. What's the response time for an engine company in your city? Response time is the time it takes for that crew to suit up, open the doors, clear the door, hit the sidewalk.